We're talking today about the great cyber shakedown. And we're going to be talking about how you can make sure that you're protecting yourself and your clients. There's something that's more important than winning new business, and that's what I want to talk to you about. You see, there's a change in how liability works for MSPs. The problem is that risk is going up. If you take a look at impact, right? One component of risk is impact. So if you take a look at impact, it's gone up from 3.8 million to 4.88 million, the average cost of a data breach. So we have an increase in impact. Decision makers don't really worry about compliance. Who's tried to go and actually meet with the decision maker and say, you need to buy compliance? They're gonna laugh you out of their office. Because if you take a look at it, decision makers don't worry about this stuff. If they did, events like this wouldn't even be able to occur. You see, decision makers, they worry about three things. They worry about outages, they worry about breaches, and they worry about litigation. And these threats directly contribute to perceived operational risk for those decision makers. And they're wondering what to do with this risk. And we all know what you can do with this risk, right? There are four simple things you can do with this type of risk. The first one is you can tolerate it. You might be able to treat it, terminate it, as in maybe just stop doing that behavior altogether. Or finally, you could transfer that risk. How do you transfer risk, folks? You transfer risk with a contract. Your clients do this all the time. If you think about it, they're going through and they're transferring risk to you with your managed services agreement. But there's another type of contract that happens. People transfer risk to a cyber insurance company. There's also a couple of new focus areas. So we're seeing things like data governance popping up, especially when it comes to AI and the stuff that we were talking about earlier. You're also going through and you're seeing things like other management requirements. But here's the interesting stuff and kind of the most important stuff, and that is industry-specific, specialized coverage. Making sure that that policy that you're getting actually covers what you and your clients expect. Folks, what this means is you need to understand your clients' policies, just like any other vendor agreement. Now, why do cyber claims get denied? Let's take a second and look at this. Failure to maintain minimum or adequate security standards, failure to document preventative measures, policy exclusions, misrepresentation on those self-assessment questionnaires, and delayed incident response/reporting. I'm going to suggest to you today you consider providing a solution to this to your clients, because anyone can sue you for anything, and that means having preparation in place. So what does preparation mean? Well, if you take a look at it, what we're talking about here is we're talking about changing the way you think of compliance. We're talking about turning it into and having a conversation about liability with your clients, taking the standard sources and then adding Cyber Insurability 2025 and basing your solution on that, because at some point someone will break through your defenses. And when they do, you want to have reasonable explanations for the decisions you made when you went through and built this out. So I'm saying recommend cyber liability to your clients right now. So recommend the solutions they need. If they don't move forward, document their poor decisions. And if you have clients with cyber insurance, ask yourself if you will be the one on the hook if they have an event.